There were 14 people in the building when Tina Turner arrived for soundcheck. She had performed in this venue twice before. She knew the layout. She knew the sightlines from the stage. She knew that the acoustics in the third tier required a specific monitor adjustment that her sound engineer always forgot until she reminded him. What she did not know was that the man checking her security pass at the side entrance had been standing in this venue for 11 years. And that he was crying. Robert Ashford was 51 years old. He had worked security at the arena for 11 years. He had worked hundreds of events, basketball games, boxing matches, political rallies, concerts from artists whose names he had to look up before each show to know what to expect. He had worked 2 previous Tina Turner events at this venue. He knew the protocol. He knew the access points and the restricted areas and the specific way that large-scale concert security operates in the 4 hours before a show. He was not supposed to be emotional at the side entrance on a Thursday afternoon. He was supposed to check credentials and maintain access control and be the version of himself that 11 years of arena security had made him very good at being. He was crying because of his mother. Eleanor Ashford had died 9 days earlier. She was 77 years old. She had been a nurse for 35 years. She had raised Robert and his 2 sisters in a small house outside the city on a nurse's salary and a set of convictions about what mattered that she had communicated not through speeches, but through the specific daily choices she made and expected her children to notice. Eleanor Ashford had loved Tina Turner the way some people love music that arrived at exactly the right moment. She had been 28 years old when Proud Mary came out. She had been a young nurse working double shifts, raising 3 children, navigating a life that required more of her than it gave back most days. And Tina Turner's voice, the specific way it occupied a room, the specific combination of power and something that sounded like survival, had been the thing Eleanor put on when the double shifts and the 3 children and the life that required more than it gave became something she needed to be reminded she could carry. Robert had grown up with that voice in the house. He could not separate it from the smell of his mother's kitchen and the sound of her getting ready for a night shift, and the specific comfort of being a child in a house where someone who loved you was moving through the ordinary work of keeping everything going. 9 days after Eleanor's funeral, Robert Ashford was standing at the side entrance of an arena, checking credentials, and Tina Turner walked up to the checkpoint. He saw her before she reached him. He had a moment, perhaps 3 seconds, to compose himself. He did not manage it. Tina Turner reached the checkpoint. She handed over her credentials with the automatic efficiency of someone who has been doing this for 40 years. She looked at the man behind the checkpoint. She stopped. Robert Ashford was a large man, 51 years old, 11 years of arena security. A person professionally trained to be, at all times, the most composed person in any situation that might require composure. He was crying at a security checkpoint. "Are you all right?" Tina said. Robert told her he was fine. He apologized. He reached for the professional composure and found it was not available. He told her that his mother had just died, 9 days ago. He told her that his mother had loved her for 50 years. Tina Turner put down her credentials on the checkpoint table. She was 4 hours from performing in front of 20,000 people. She had a sound check, a production meeting, a wardrobe fitting, a pre-show routine that her team protected with the same seriousness that surgical teams protect sterile fields. She put all of that down for a moment. "What was her name?" Tina asked. Robert told her. Eleanor. Tina repeated it. Eleanor. Eleanor raised you, Tina said. It was not a question. Robert said yes. Tina looked at the man in front of her, a 51-year-old security professional crying at a checkpoint 9 days after his mother died. A man who had grown up in a house where a woman who loved him put on a voice that sounded like survival when the days required more than they gave. She did a good job, Tina said quietly. Robert Ashford has said in the years since that he cannot fully explain what those 5 words did, not because they were extraordinary words, because of who said them, and because of what his mother would have felt knowing that the voice she had played in her kitchen for 50 years had looked at her son and said, simply, directly, "She did a good job." Tina picked up her credentials. She moved through the checkpoint. She turned back once. Eleanor will be in the room tonight, she said. I'll know she's there. Robert Ashford worked the show that night. His post was stage left, floor level, close enough to see the performance clearly, far enough to remain invisible in the way that security professionals are trained to remain invisible. He has said that he does not know exactly when it happened, somewhere in the second half of the show, a song that Eleanor had played so often that Robert knew every note before Tina sang it. He looked at the stage, and he felt, in the specific way that grief sometimes allows, not logical, not provable, not something he would insist on to anyone who hadn't felt it themselves, that Eleanor was in the room. After the show, a member of Tina's production team found Robert at his post. They handed him a folded piece of paper. On it, in handwriting he had never seen before but recognized immediately, for Eleanor, who raised someone worth knowing, Tina. Robert Ashford retired from arena security 4 years after that night. He framed the note. It hangs in his living room. Beside it, a photograph of Eleanor Ashford, taken sometime in the 1970s. She is in her kitchen. She is smiling. And if you look carefully at the background of the photograph, you can see the record player. If this story moved you, if you have ever felt someone in a room who was no longer in the room, subscribe and share this video. Leave a comment. Tell us about someone who raised you. We read every one.